guys, we're back.
Yeah, and they were trying to meet, as Dan said, Daddy Astralis there at that high level of prep.
That word is ruined for me.
What's
Forever.
that? Dad?
Daddy.
Daddy?
Don't.
Yeah, it's gotten
Daddy.
a little connotations now are.
I just
They're all
people use it the wrong way too much. It's just, and it was an innocent word.
They took it away from you. Innocent and wholesome word.
Give it back. Give Daddy back.
Well, here we go. Off to the pistol round. Heroic on that T side, which will be quite fun to see. See what kind of game plan they have. Well, Nico's just going to walk out of Heart with the assistance of Tessus, and they're going to annihilate everybody. So ENCE have a non-starter here with this pistol round, and I mean, Ariel can definitely make some money here. It's going to be hard to win the round, but you know, $300 here or $300 there might be nice for the following rounds. Okay, that's one. Got to take it one step at a time. And they are just going to make it... Oh, Storm!
I was wondering where he was. I couldn't see him on the X-rays or anything. But
It's weird because as he was hopping down, I had a feeling like in this position, I feel like I'm gonna get knifed or something. And then he just literally was. Like, I thought he was gonna come up ladder and kind of hit him from behind, but he was right under him.
your game sense was kicking in.
I know someone was like knife, and I have to piece it together. You know, like, why am I saying knife in my head?
I feel that way with a lot of with when you play, you just kind of sometimes know there's that, like, that's why you have to just sometimes make that random 180 when
Yeah,
you're playing.
something doesn't feel right here.
Yeah. Well, early ramp rush from Heroic. This is an interesting anti-eco from them. Would have thought there would be something a little bit more procedural, but it still seems to work regardless. And they are now taking control room on top of that. This is looking like a pretty clean round for them already. They've smoked off this control stairway, and they still have 5 members alive. They even have a couple more smokes that they can just keep refreshing some of these major choke points, and there one of them is right there at the stairwell. So ENCE may just opt for the save at this point. Looks like they're still hanging around to try to find a little bit of damage here, maybe take a gun away from the Heroic side, keep their money honest, but at the end of the day, they're not going to be winning the round.
Probably save some armor, try to get some exit kills, maybe get lucky with the gun. But Heroic doing a decently job of falling back together. Some of them.
Yeah. The eco frags are maybe Brolin were in the server.
He's good. He's holding W. He's padding those stats, baby.
Who was it we saw yesterday? We played Nuke, and it was, I think it's the same situation, but there was like no damage exchange between either team, and it was oh god, yeah, but we saw one person die at least, but otherwise it was similar in that sense. Yeah, Heroic off to a good start, and they do have to run another solid anti-force spy round, and again, Heroic are the kind of team that have put a lot of effort into thinking about these rounds. I remember CS like years ago where no one ever thought about how to play anti-eco specifically, and it would just frustrate everyone to no ends to watch it. Just always fall to pieces. And we get initially Heroic with a bit of pressure towards upper, but they sort of fall back a little bit, perhaps trying to bait the CTs into a response. Really with Nico down control. That's a beautiful transfer actually from Nico. Really dealing with those two players very efficiently. This is actually so clean from Heroic, even despite the fact that they have players kind of all over the place. They're doing a really well coordinated drill here.
And it seems like, you know, by the speed that they're hitting these bomb sites, they might have a tell on ENCE, at least on maybe where their weak points are on anti-ecos or potential force spies by them. Because they're taking choke points pretty quickly, you know, with numbers, trying to overwhelm a small area that ENCE might be lacking in people.
That's a good point. I feel like Heroic against Fnatic were more deliberate towards outside, and they took their time with things. But was that the second ramp rush in a row or something? It was pretty quick. It was pretty quick towards lower, and I'm thinking about that point you made, how a lot of pro teams were bad at anti-ecos before, and I'm trying to wonder exactly what changed.
Tech 9 was changed. The CZ was changed.
I think that's a little bit part of it, that the pistols got just a tad weaker since then. I think there were also more eco rounds in general, for one.
Yeah, that's also
Oh, yeah,
what made less
resets.
sense because it's like there's so many eco rounds, and it wasn't until Threat's NIP, when Threat first joined NIP, that we actually saw a team just winning the anti-eco rounds just with utility and not risk, like basically not losing any players, but actually playing correctly from a strategic and tactical sense. And then I think the trend sort of just the teams, just like the most elite teams, just sort of led the way, so that's starting to get more efficient because those are rounds which should be a gimme.
Yeah.
So
This is looking good for Heroic, though. They found that opening pick towards outside. Now Ariel is on that lower bomb site alone, and he is surrounded by Heroic players right now, but Heroic is trying to find their time to strike as of now. They have a couple players in control already, and this should indicate a lower hit. However, Heroic do have some fallback options if they so choose. There's 50 seconds left in the round still. Ariel's position will be pincered, it looks like, at this point.
very tense stuff. Ariel in an interesting and somewhat awkward spot. You can see he's slightly worried about Decon, but he's waiting for the door to be open, and he's going to punish. He's going straight forward, but straight into the barrel of Katie. And Heroic just pausing here definitely created some antsiness for ENCE, which they've capitalized upon pretty enormously, able to take so many kills here. And until that point, it was a 4 versus 1. There was a chance that maybe they would have survived with 4 players again. So we have to consider how well Heroic have been doing in terms of keeping their players alive. That's a really big deal. It's going to make life quite difficult for ENCE. And with that said, Sergey's doing God's work right now in terms of trying to remove some of the cash from the coffers of Heroic, but they will end up finishing the round with 2 players left alive, and their money's still in amazing shape. We've got players on 10k, like 3 players around 10k, so that's not bad for round 5.
Yeah, 5 kills on the side of ENCE, and in 4 rounds, you're definitely looking for more, especially on the CT side of Nuke. You can't let the CT or the T economy run away like this, because they can just constantly pressure you in a way that is very hard to compete with. Another thing to note, briefly, I just noticed that we're seeing the players' crosshairs actually today, which is cool. I don't mind this.
I like it.
Yeah, we can see just how weird Ariel's crosshair is. It's 4 dots. I mean, it's so wide for a pro crosshair. Usually they're much tighter.
I like it.
I'm gonna say I don't.
I'm from Quake, where I had a different crosshair for every single gun and different FOV. So
yeah.
Different sensitivities?
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
I had a different sensitivity for the lightning gun, to have it a little slower.
Oh, so you can track them better, yeah.
Yeah, better tracking.
Doesn't that mess with your movement a little bit, though?
I mean, it wasn't that extreme of a change, you know what I mean? It's only with the lightning gun.
I mean, because I changed FOV with all the guns, that's an effective sensitivity change. So I guess I can claim the sense change.
Right. Like changing your res just feels different.
Awkward. Like this one right here, that's pretty awkward because Sergey completely avoided the Molotov. He still gets taken out there.
This is, again, another very deliberate, methodical push from Heroic, and they are so far outclassing ENCE pretty heavily. It's looking like they have more muscle when it comes to again, I'm going to say strategically speaking, and just some good tactical decisions as well in terms of how they've been using their pacing. There's been quite a few moments where, and again, this is actually something that Astralis, I think I noticed first them being very good at, and maybe I'll say that about most fundamental things in CS because they are their legacy is pretty undeniable. I think they were the first elite team to more or less play the game as most optimally as you can think from all angles. And so the point I want to make about Heroic is how they use pacing, and they, in the middle of the round, they may have a fast pace, but then they might just pause. And the pause can really force some overextensions accidentally from your opponents who are maybe reading a different pace in the round. So you really mess with the intuition of your opponents with that kind of stuff.
What if they had a lifeline in this game, Pause it, call like us or something. Like, hey man, what do we do? We're down like 0-6. We want your expert opinion.
I thought you meant lifeline from Apex Legends. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, oh man.
Oh, this mini split is not going to
dear.
end well.
The double can't.
Yeah, double at the opposite vent, and it doesn't even need to really enact or enable the second player all too much. Sergey got most of it done at that position, and
I love those moves. You know why? Because people never expect that second guy. You know,
Right.
you see him swing out there. Oh, it's clear, guys. We got him.
yeah.
And then another guy there will just mow down 3 people now looking at him.
Yeah, that's one of those like really cool like just time old tricks that's just always going to be good. It's just throwing it in, just that extra bit of doubt. You're going to think that it's going to be clear. Obviously, you have to be careful if it's a position that gets commonly Molotoved, but still,
Yeah.
that's a good way to get back on the board, friends. And Heroic now might switch things up. We can already see it's a slower pace. They have the outside smokes, which they're actually working behind with the whole team pretty much. They've left obviously one in lobby. Sometimes you may leave more, so you have lurk options and maybe a rotation up the vent as a possibility. But Nuke gets the kill on Sunny. Sunny sort of misplaying that a little bit. That's not supposed to happen.
No.
You're supposed to be kind of moving a little bit
Yeah.
with your elbow peeking. You know, just in that case right there where you kind of pushed up against an angle, so the guy with longer range angle can see you just a little bit before you.
Yeah, you could.
Know your angles.
If you turn your body sometimes with the nade out, you can just barely show the tip of your elbow. So that was probably, to Nico's credit, a very precise burst. Though.
Heads up. Heads
Yeah.
up play.
I agree. And look at the position it's put ENCE in. Their economy is completely wrecked, and so you're in a situation here where you have to think, okay, well, what do we think our percentage for success is in this round? Well, if we keep these guns for the next round, what will our percentage be for success? Okay, is it significantly greater? Well, let's just save the guns then.
About 98% greater.
Yeah, it's definitely a low percentage play to try to go for the retake here, and it's also the implied issues of losing economic momentum completely without having a say in the situation. Heroic will just get to play against an eco and then just get to run over you. So there are some also like intangibles that you got to consider as well when you're thinking about those kinds of things.
One intangible is that Sunny is just sitting there with his hands are folded after he dies. You feel really bad if you're that one player and it's like, oh, I gotta save now. And Sunny's like, come on, oh man, I messed up. The morality, I guess, of a single player may be lost, but everyone else wins in the long run, for sure.
Yeah.
Don't get headshotted.
Don't show your elbow like that, Sunny.
Shoot people before they shoot you. That's a great starting point to come back in this game.
Yeah, and so they're going to need to do a lot of that. The money for Heroic has swelled up, and it's looking pretty good regardless. Another interesting setup coming out from ENCE. They've thrown out the double opposite vent, and now X7 is just posting up in the vent itself. That's a great nade, though, onto Stown.
Great pro tip.
Yeah. I like, I don't know if you remember the old CGS pro tip, where I think Mo, or was it Clown, was like, spray control pro tip. Pull down with your mouse to control your spray. It's like, no way.
Probably Clown because Mo, he could only op. So
Yeah, I think it was.
So he would know that
no
incredible
rifle. No, he would not. He would
piece of
not.
advice.
That's why he ops all those times.
That's
Does
funny.
not touch rifles.
Yeah, that was
It's
Profound.
that
definitely
really blew my mind.
I
Changed
remember
my
it
life.
now. It's I can see it happen. I remember that commercial looking thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, I was just fucking tapping every round.
Another opening there. Oh wow, there's lots of openings being found as they go down lower.
Wait, how did this just happen?
I mean, they just walked down lower and just got the picks. It's just swung.
It was like
got the
5 on
kills.
5 for a second, right? And they just got
Yeah.
out down there with no resistance, no
Yeah.
spotting. That's kind of weird.
Sunny's having a hard time. You could tell.
Yeah,
He's getting just. I don't know if Heroic anti-stratted to the point where they know a lot of the common spots he plays, or he's just asleep at the wheel right now. One or the other. Heroic are doing a very good job finding entries on him. He's 1 in 7 right now, and if you're that player that is responsible for that entire B site, then you need to do better. Just flat out, you need to. At the very least, it could be a 1 in 7, but you're staying alive for an extra 30 seconds because you cycle through your utility to slow down Heroic at least, but he's just dying instantly right now, and that's unacceptable for ENCE's chances.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's crazy with Sunny as well because it's just, if you look at where he was in 2018. Just sort of the drop in his stock and is kind of crazy, because I think he was in the conversation for one of the best players in the world at that point when Mouse Sports were at the top of their game in 2018 with that particular lineup with him and Oscar and Steeko and Robs and Chris J. So definitely unfortunate, but we've seen a lot of players making it back and reinventing themselves. So hopefully he's able to figure that out too. But for now, we're seeing Heroic on their map choice. Again, it's a Danish favorite, Nuke, really doing a lot of damage on this T side. It looks like they want to get into, or at least like harass that main position, maybe wrap outside towards Heaven right now. They don't have much going on in lobby, which is why the Heaven thing seems more likely. As a main split would be possible.
Messing up the run boost there, hitting his head on the ceiling a little bit. So Testis loses a little bit of life, and ENCE gains some information off of that. ENCE changed up where Alu was, so he's actually defending lower at this point.
We're seeing the same thing happening in Heroic. They go forward pretty quickly. Now they're just holding. They've been holding for quite a while. They're looking for some kind of an overextension. Because also, if you look at that positioning, they don't really have a way to get onto a site very effectively unless they get a pick. So they're kind of trying to force ENCE to give them something, but they're not giving them anything. And in fact, it's actually backfired at this point.
Yeah.
So I like what Heroic has been doing. Hold that thought, because Alu just smashed Borup. And they don't want any piece of that.
So good discipline this round so far from ENCE, I think it's fair to say. Heroic I was about to say, might have a look in, but Sunny with a great burst finds 2 quick headshots, and the round will be finished off. And so it's really interesting. Heroic, they had I think something pretty specific in mind, and they just didn't get the opportunity that they thought that they would get from ENCE. So I'd expect them to probably go back to, instead of waiting for ENCE to make a mistake, kind of forcing the error instead by actually trying to take an important position of the map and not just stop sort of halfway through.
Yeah, so I thought the linchpin of that last round was the lobby person from Heroic. We'll talk about later. They're rushing up her.
Yeah, definitely quite a change of pace. Just the vent bomb there. It's honestly so impossibly hard sometimes to deal with. A player that just goes down the vent is so distracting, especially if the round slows down. There's a T crawling around down there, but it's a rather fast round instead. Bomb's been planted. So 3v3, so there's definitely retake opportunities here, but it's not going to be an easy one, especially with the ENCE under control, but Testis missed his timing.
Yeah, he definitely had an angle on that. But this opens things up for ENCE here in the 3v2. Cadian and Stown going to be playing control and the dark position. Cadian should be good for one. Oh, wow, F7 just deletes him from the server right there. And it's just Stown now, and Sergey's able to find the kill on top of that. ENCE, they're bouncing back here.
Nice
Yeah.
little retake.
It'd be cool to see a variation from Heroic where they play around like that a lot slower, just to sort of see how it messes with ENCE and their rotations. But yeah, they're Heroic are mixing things up quite a lot. We've seen a lot of every round's been different from as far as their T-side approach has gone. So I'm just curious what will be next. Wouldn't be surprised to see something more standard.
So they'll be playing with the vent just a little bit. Kind of feigning control towards it. They don't actually smoke it off, so ENCE should have good information here that no one made it down. But Testis still somehow finds a kill onto Sunny.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Sunny seemed to be getting picked up apart a lot outside, and at one point, maybe you got to change it up to where you want to get info, but maybe put yourself in spots where if they chase you down, you have your teammates in better spots shooting them at the side of the head. You know what I mean? So a lot of these spots that Sunny's been playing, like outside, he get picked off. When he's down lower, I know even though he's playing it pretty safe, he still gets picked off, and I mean then Heroic just runs away with a round after that first pick, and they're just ENCE looks like they're just all over the place right now. Don't have really a structure, it seems like, in their game plan.
Yeah, you're right. Heroic's conversion after getting the initial pick is very high, and it seems like they've been getting them fairly easily in most rounds. I think, a couple of the rounds that we just saw them lose out was just... It's one of those situations where sometimes, like, it's... Losing a round isn't a bad thing because although ultimately you want to have as many rounds as possible, there's a lot of value to continually mixing things up because it slows the adaptation process down for your opponents. And then on top of that, you can also use that round in which you lost to act as some form of conditioning, like basically sort of incepting certain ideas to your opponents as to what you may be wanting to do. So it's there's definitely like value from losing rounds so long as that there was actually something you're trying to do things in that round. You had objectives that you're trying to achieve, and it wasn't just like the same thing that you've been throwing at them repeatedly.
I'd like to see Alu in a fast rotate spot this round. Maybe spot outside for the smokes. If they spot smokes, then head back to ramp where he can post up, let his riflers kind of rotate to lower.
Looks like he'll be opting for the early secret position, which is a little bit more of a full committal than I think you would have hoped, Eric. But an interesting flash play from the ENCE side. A little bit desperate.
That's good cover, though. That was really good cover by Heroic.
Yeah, that usually can at least catch one, but they were just in too good of positions. And again, once they find that opening pick, Heroic able to convert so nicely, finding the second on top of that. Ariel quick to fall after his teammate Sunny does. Or, no, vice versa. Sorry. But
Where's Alu? What is he doing?
Sergey posturing towards Hut right now. Slightly cleared out the lobby position, and it looks like he'll be taken out right in the back. Borup coming up towards Heaven is able to find Sergey.
That's where he is.
And Alu, yeah, he may have locked down this lower bomb site, but it was not what Heroic were interested in.
Yeah, ENCE needs more impact, especially with the AWP, and they've been putting Alu in these really passive off spots. Yeah, if they, walk to him, they'll probably get a kill. But every time they put him in those kind of spots, they're not even near him at all.
Oh, wow.
And then he just gets taken apart. It's just unfortunate to see because literally Heroics, tossing smokes and just walking, flashing, walking, and they aren't being punished like outside with an op, you know what I'm saying? Like have the op by CT spawn or something, just to keep him scared of pushing without having to walk out, all the spots.
Yeah, Nico's having a great game though. It seems like most fights he's been taking have ended in a split second, and usually he's coming out on top. He's looking quite good.
Yeah, I think the last series we saw from him too, he was really explosive and really looking in form. So I think it's just another thing that is a testament to the amount of time I think that the Heroic players are putting in right now. I don't have the stats of how many hours specifically they have per week, but I think it's that they're clocking a decent amount given the performances we're seeing. And ENCE, being down 3-9 on the CT side of Nuke it's a tough start. It really is. And Heroic, they're just rolling through their game plan, and so far it's looking pretty nice.
Let's be real, Dan. It's really shitty. It's really bad.
God damn.
Not ideal.
Oh. Well, there's one kill at least. And there's a chance for more Sunny here with the Getty, despite his struggle. He is a very, very strong pistol player. I mean, he's strong with everything. But will we see a Sunny Deagle highlights? I feel like he's walking away from all of the action, so maybe not.
Yeah. It's just avoiding Heroic, it seems like. Yeah, this should be a 10th round for Heroic here. And it's not really putting up too much of a fight here. Alu will have a chance for some duels at the very least, but Nico, crisp as always, will take him down and finds the last two just instantly.
So that small spot right there, okay? I know it's a 2-on-4 situation, but both people in ENCE was in ramp. Why not just peek together, Like, why not just try to overwhelm and maybe get luck instead of one-by-one peeking? I mean, they were both there. There's no there's no reason, not to in that scenario.
I think if we would have watched G2 play that out, you may have seen team play down to the very last breath, but ENCE, they seem a little bit deflated right now.
What do they do and get pumped up, you know? Oh no. Oh no, there. The pump up. But, smoke's outside. A couple players getting sprayed down. Nades through the smoke. But Stone, they take out X7, is trying to rotate through the ramp. And Heroic, they're doing their kind of seesaw back and forth and decide that they're not going to go lower. Which ENCE seemed to over-rotate for. It's a great call.
Oh, that's fantastic. Sonny with the double there outside. And I was just going to say that before that happened, the Heroic have been doing fairly well when they go outside, but it's looking tough now. How do you convert out of this? Well, there may be no conversion at all. So 4th round on the board for ENCE. The fact that the best prospect is 5 rounds on your CT side definitely sucks. You know, there's no way around that fact. But at least it's looking like there is some signs of life. But it does also feel like in some of these rounds that I get a sense that ENCE feel like a little like they're a step behind.
Yeah.
Here or there.
They did.
Yeah, that was one where Heroic actually probably had a very good chance of taking lower and probably expected an over-rotation from ENCE, and it actually just never came.
Well, I mean, it was, but it just one person killed 4 of them.
That's
Sonny. Sonny was the only person who was there in the area, and he managed to blast 4 people, so maybe they did get a little lucky.
Yeah, that's true too. Good flash, though, to get Aerial off of the angle at ramp. Alu is trying to rotate in. He may not have an opportunity, though, because Heroic are just flying down, and Testis getting that opening pick is massive. But X7 is still here at the control door, as mollied off, though, won't have an opportunity to find a kill. Heroic will be planting that bomb towards lower for the control side. Cadian taking down Sonny is a huge one, and it really jams up where ENCE can actually hit from at this point.
Once again, we're seeing Heroic just holding the pace, seeing for the, waiting for that response, and that trade is going to definitely favor them. Nice defense coming through, and Ali will be finished off as well. That's a very solid half, an 11-4 finish to the first half for the first map of this series. We'll see if ENCE have anything to say for themselves after this break.
Back.
Should have got my yogurt parfait.
Missed out.
Parfait. Well, 11-4 for Heroic in great stead to close this one out quickly. And we'll see if there's any life in ENCE here. I'm going to go for that lower push.
Oh.
A couple big kills coming in for ENCE to try to gain some ground there, but Heroic trading pretty effectively. But they won't be able to stop the bomb from going down. So that money is guaranteed at the very least for ENCE. However, well, I say that, but they actually are delaying the plant here. It seems like they want to see if they can catch another kill before going for that. They do have time to work with, so you can't really fault that approach. This very tense stuff as Heroic are lurking all over the place. They're perhaps wondering, why is there no plant just yet? And there's the push to a decon, and a trade for Heroic. I feel like, especially with one of the players still being very low, that this is going to be quite favorable for Heroic now at this point. As ENCE finally now try to get that bomb planted, and they will.
Sound making his way down through Decon will face off against that low player, which is X7. Stown looking for the right angle to fight, the right timing, and he will take down X7, which means it's just up to Sergey. He's an explosive young star, but Stown is looking better on this round, at least.
His crosshair is so small. How does he even see through, when chaos is happening? I wonder if he ever loses the focus of his screen and loses his crosshair. It's so light, too.
Hey, man, he's probably got that digital vibrance.
Yeah.
And it's a lot closer to the screen than us. So
Look at that thing.
Also perhaps a smaller screen, which would help.
Yeah.
I have a hard time seeing yellow crosshairs on certain maps for sure, though.
Are they colorblind or they just do it? Yeah, I don't
Dust
know.
and Mirage, for example.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I don't use a yellow crosshair.
Oh.
I use cyan, kind of.
I use cyan, too.
Yeah, magenta. You
No,
always
wait,
see
I
it?
use light blue.
Oh, okay.
I mix my colors now. Cyan feels like a blue to me. I don't know why.
Well, it's going to be a fast upper push coming in from ENCE for their force spy. We'll see how good this is, and it's actually looking fairly good at the beginning. They're going to be able to get the bomb planted, and actually, This starts to get really weird if you're Heroic, because there's a lot of post-plant utility still left available, and with effectively perpetual main smokes, there may not be a way back into this for Heroic. They may have to bite the bullet and go for a save. I hope that that's the case. I have seen teams kind of, like, one player tries it and then maybe invest the rest of his teammates, but... Oh, Ali might be doing just that. Very sneaky stuff.
It looks like Heroic are calling it off at this point. Alu's flank got way too much information for ENCE, and Heroic just don't favor their chances, especially since Alu scouted out the last two. It would have been a pretty obvious hit. A little bit too... won't have the tactical advantage of just really surprising ENCE at that point. Good call from ENCE, though. Off the back of a plant in the pistol, instead of opting for the hero AKs as many teams do, they go for quite a bit of utility and just SMGs. It's another strong option, especially given the fact that Heroic will likely be upgrading guns of similar strength. So as long as you play the numbers game, you still have a very strong opportunity, and ENCE showing us just how that can work.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best ways to play around like that. I think it's one of the most common ways too, if you're going to go for that set piece. A fast set piece. Heroic were unable to stop it, whether it was expected or not. But they do have a good amount of firepower remaining in this round, but their utility is definitely behind in comparison to ENCE. And ENCE defaulting out here might see those late cross smokes coming in shortly. Or perhaps they'll try to cross without them. But that would be very... very dangerous. But here we go. There's one. And then they'll probably throw one quite close to the T-Red container. There we go. And they can try to make their way down.
That has a gap in the bottom, but Stown won't find the angle. It's a little bit offset, so it's hard to find that gap, but a silent approach and scale from ENCE. As all 5 of their players are here at Secret. This may be stopped by that lone Heroic player. A good nade from Tessus actually forces everyone from ENCE to go through decon there. That smoke on top of it will secure his position towards control, and that makes this post plant very tricky for ENCE at this point. They have to try to take some ground at this point. You can't live with just one side of that lower bomb site, and Tessus is able to find a single kill. Good timing from him on that, but it looks like ENCE have now taken away that control position, and Sergey will find a couple kills because of that added space.
Yeah, not really all that much to do in this position. Ed's playing really straightforward here. That's a great shot from Borup. Just keep that damage on. Oh, there we go. Another one comes through as well. The damage continues from Borup, and now they're on for the round. Is there time here to actually get to the bomb? I think there just about might be. But do they have a kit?
Borup
yeah,
does.
Borup has the kit, and he's going for it here. Here comes the hold, and I don't think Sergey's going to be there in time to stop this. Borup with the deeks. It's going to save the day. That's actually so upsetting. If you're Finish or ENCE, that's incredibly upsetting.
They lost. They lost. They're out. They're gone. That's definitely a tilter.
I like the transition there almost. It's like, yeah, let's give up on this game.
that right here is just like, okay, you guys aren't here to play serious.
Man.
Wow.
Just, why not 3 1-on-1s? That sounds like a great idea. That sounds like an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the kind of thing that would like break the morale of the team. Because no one is thinking that the round can be lost at that point.
Right. There's too much control. There's too many reasons to win that. That's usually there's at least one Heroic play, and I mean that in the sense not the name of the team, but
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. At least one Heroic play per CT side for really any team at this level, and to find it there for Heroic is it's just such a godsend. Jeez, not another pun.
ENCE could have went AFK after that post plant and won the round. Just imagine that. AFK. They could have won AFK and won the round.
They could have all just went up ramp 30 seconds ago, and if Heroic doesn't find that one kill from Borup, yeah, they're gonna stop. They don't even go for it.
Oh my goodness, I just can't believe that. That's like open level shit right there.
Well, we have a pretty solid chance here for ENCE. They managed to make it a 3v3 after those initial trades. And they've managed to also potentially outposition Heroic. And especially if Tessus goes down, he does get his bell rung through the metal shutter there, so he's somewhat protected. But oh, very nice shot from X7. It's up to Borup again. Perhaps he can make life even more difficult for ENCE, but no, at least this time ENCE will get their revenge and they will pick up another round. But it's just such a long road. It's such a long road to get to a victory here. They would need 10 rounds, 10 more rounds. That's kind of crazy versus the 3 that Heroic require.
This may be one of them, though. Force Spy coming out from Heroic, and the best weapon is a Scout for Cadian right now. He is a very proficient Scout user, actually, though, so I can't count Heroic out of this. But we'll see if ENCE are able to dodge some of those sniper bullets here. Stown does hear a player drop towards vents. Oh, wow. And X7, just barely seeing him through the corner of the smoke right there, is able to inflict a lot of damage. Heroic, though, have already rotated a couple players towards B at this point, so the defense will be on them and their shoulders at this point. Tessus towards the lower, but Stown's still dueling this player at vent, and it will be him to fall first. This may actually cause a rotation out of ENCE to perhaps head back towards upper, but it doesn't look like they're too interested. Cadian, getting that scout involved, is able to take down Sunny. ENCE considering their approach still, as the Tessus is on top of this silo. And it doesn't seem like ENCE are actually too keen on trying to take that space away from him. Looks like they do want to reroute, in fact.
It's sometimes hard, even on a Force Spy on the CT side, to take lower with kind of just no smokes. I was wondering where all the smokes went for ENCE, but as you saw, that Sunny try to force an angle lower without a smoke, and he got instantly killed.
These are the weird positions I see out of ENCE more after Alexi B left the team, where there was that player going into big garage, there was still some players towards lower, and they kind of are just all over the place, and now they make this desperation hit. It may still work out for them, given their weaponry, but
here we go.
It's getting picked apart. Cadian doing a great job. He found the tag onto Alu at least, but the other Heroic players weren't in position. Nico trying to find something here with the scout, picked off of his teammate's body, and he will find the kill onto Sergey, which just leaves Alu. He has 30 HP. A shot from either of these guns will do it, and Nico will find the headshot. So,
oh my god.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to in the pregame. It's just ENCE frequently. I see them on Nuke now find themselves in just these weird positions where at some point you just need to commit, and it feels like they just go between the two a lot.
Yeah, it's like you have to have an option to do something else if something goes wrong. If you don't have that, you have to commit. And they didn't have, let's say, a couple players in lobby, or even, let's say, one guy in lobby they could wait for to make a play, to maybe allow them event rotation upper or something like that. Or maybe a backstab through ramp, through room. Like, they didn't have that option, so the only thing that they can do is commit. So yeah, you're completely right. It feels like they just don't realize that that's the case, and so then they're just, like, frozen in place, not really knowing how to proceed.
I know it's really hard at this level to save some utility, but I think a map like this, you need at least a smoke or Molotov to help you take lower if you're not clearing out all the spots like ENCE was doing. They kind of cleared out the control room, but that's really it. They got punished heavily for that. Let's take a stat out of G2's book from yesterday. They had perfect Nuke play, just everything. The protocol's too good.
Let's go for that upper rush through the huts now, and it's looking good for the first entry at least. Cadian will take down Sergey, but the upper bomb site has been conceded, I think, so it's well, actually Nico's still got some presence there. He's locked away by Squeaky with those smokes, and oh, looks like Sunny looked away just at the wrong moment. That's poor timing for him. That's unfortunate. Now, the 3 players who remain for ENCE on the site, they don't have much space to work with. They're all stuck around the bomb itself, but they will still defend. Well done by ENCE, and that'll make it 7-14. So this game's not over just yet, especially considering that the money's now gone for Heroic.
Yeah, just imagine that 2 of the rounds that ENCE lost were eco rounds, pretty much. You can imagine the scoreline now with, you know, have a lot more room to catch up, make the game even. Looks like Heroic's going to do a force buy here with the shotguns, MP9, ragtag. So ENCE probably have a good idea out there on some kind of eco, possibly force buy, speeding up outside, but that doesn't help because Alu's dead. He's gone.
But Sergey clears out the upper site, and that should do it here for Heroic. It'd be really nice if Nico takes this AK moving forward. He does find a kill, actually. Looking for more, but it's actually setting up Cadian very nicely, who's scaled out events, but he is deleted from the server there. That was looking a little bit scary, but looks like Nico will just walk away from this round with an AK in hand. It'll be a save, actually, from Heroic in the upcoming round, so this is a nice gun to take forward, give your team an opportunity, a chance. And with how Nico has been playing, I think there is one. He has been very sharp with rifles thus far.
He's crispy today.
Yeah.
Must be frustrating. Well, it is frustrating knowing that some days you're amazing and other days you just, nothing's happening. Like it's not clicking or you're sluggish or something. Especially at a job where everything depends on results. Probably why how a lot of people get burnt out too.
Don't all jobs depend on results? Eric, I don't know what jobs you're doing, but
crispy meter, I like it. Well,
92%.
I work in
8%
esports, man.
crispiness is missing.
Oh. Not quite 100. I haven't seen that meter not hit 100 yet at this event.
Need more time in
Well,
the
they don't
oven.
deserve 100. You know, you got 4 kills maybe.
Right.
It'd be 100. You know.
Okay. I don't think it's unfair. I just
Okay.
thought the meter was always at 100.
There you go. Knowledge is power.
Now we can use that meter in a variety of ways.
Well, Nico's got an AK. It would be fun to see if he can do something. They have a setup in ramp room, although I think it will be largely circumvented. They may get some entertainment there from at least one player. You can see Ali's nearby, but with Aerial in heaven, one of the things that allows you to do is have an incredibly strong vantage point on the entire upper bomb site, which allows entrance very easily there. So it would be very weird to see ENCE walking into a trap at this point. This shouldn't be possible. That said, the trap is on the move. So Alu,
Oh.
did he just double dinked instantly?
Yes.
That's really crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh no!
goodness.
What is happening?
This should have been impossible.
Oh dear, Sonny now trying to return towards the upper side. He's got some good coverage from his teammates, but it's still a 2 versus 1 with Aerial up high. The AK in the hand of Cadian and now Tess's as well will create problems, but a lineup with the Molotov will certainly help matters in terms of delaying. And that bomb needs to be defused. There's no kit, so they have to get on top of it. The smoke comes through, the defuse starts. It has to be held all the way, and Cadian takes him down. It's their time for this. It's going to be close.
Oh, he's got it.
But he has it. That's crazy.
Oh,
that just
wow.
sums this game up, really. Even if it looks like it's going to go well for ENCE, they lose the round. Much like that round where it was like a 2v4. Heroic starts saving. Then Borup gets a bunch of 1Ds and then wins the round. So,
That was impossible, Dan.
I don't
Feels
even
rough.
think ENCE played it that badly this time. It's that Tess has found crazy USP kills, though.
yeah, that's true.
It was ENCE were in pretty decent
All right,
spots.
I'll say one thing. Alu was obviously he was in an okay spot, but he was alone. He had no one to help.
That's
All
true.
right?
That's true. It's usually good for one at least, though.
Yeah,
you don't
it's
usually
true.
just get double dinked by a USP.
But if you don't,
Yeah,
well, you know.
that's true. That's true. It could have been tighter.
Yeah.
It could have been tighter, but I don't blame ENCE for as much for that one. Nico, though, good positioning from him. He's able to find 2 for Heroic, but it's still a 3v3 as Alu finds a kill himself. Now Stown is behind the default silo. Cadian trying to make that op work in the vent, but it looks like it'll be finished out by Tessus, who was the hero of the prior round, and Heroic with a dominant game on Nuke right there. 16-8 scoreline, and they go up 1-0 on their map pick there.
Yeah, Heroic looking really good. A little too good. And it's just showing a lot of mistakes, not just in-game calls, but just basic fundamentals of working together.
It was the pick of Heroic, though, so
Yeah.
we will have to see how the series progresses. I believe we'll be doing a quick post-match, but
Yeah.
first, it's time for a break.